Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now we're gonna continue for the second part of Surah Al Zumar, and right now we're gonna start going to the verse number 7. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, إن تكفروا فإن الله غني عنكم ولا يرضى لعباده الكفر وإن تشكروا يرضه لكم ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى ثم إلى ربكم مرجعكم فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون إنه عليم بذات الصدور. إن تكفروا فإن الله غني عنكم. Allah is indeed doesn't need you. If you are like in if you are willing to be a disbelievers, Allah doesn't need you. إن تكفروا فإن الله غني عنكم. This is ولا يرضى لعباده الكفر. فالله لا يرضى لعباده الكفر. Allah is not pleased with his servants to have kufr. And this is true, by the way. Allah always try to give us the right path. And Allah always try to guide us. And that's why Allah, He mentioned here, وَلَا يَرْضَى لِعِبَادِهِ الْكُفْرِ. Allah is not pleased to see His servants having kufr. And why Allah give us fitna? Allah to test us and to see if we can go and repent and be like a good servant and worship only Allah or not. And then Allah said, وَأَن تَشْكُرُوا يَرْضَهْ لَكُمْ. And if you make shukr, Allah will be pleased. And as I mentioned before, shukr, like, grateful, is different from hamd. Hamd, say, when you say alhamdulillah, is different from shukr. Shukr means, like, I would just say something in the Quran. Whenever you have something and you don't know the meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that in Surah Al Zumar and lots of verses, that the Quran explains itself by itself. If you find something you don't understand, you have to keep continuing reading till you find the meaning in somewhere else. And this is the Quran. So when we go for the meaning of shukr and the difference between shukr and hamd, I remember that when Allah mentioned to Dawood, وَأَعْمِلُوا آلَ دَاوُودَ شُكْرًا. So the shukr means i'malu. So the shukr, you have to do something. So it's getting confused now, right? So I'll explain it more. Like, alhamd, like someone opened the door for you and you tell him that thank you. That's it. You told him thank you. So when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen in your prayer, you just say Alhamdulillah, thank you Allah for giving us this, and you pray Allah, thank you. You just say by words. But when Allah mentioned to Dawood, اعملوا آل داوود شكرا, He also asked Dawood to have a good example. Like, you have to make shukr, and then you have to work with it. What does it mean, work with it? It means, I give you money. You have to work with your money. Like I will tell you something example of a father has money and he give his son a car. So his son told him, thank you. So this is like just hamd. But his son took his car, and he knows that this car belongs to his dad, and he kept taking care of the car, washing the car, updating the car, and keep the car in the garage, not keeping it away, and maybe some other son will take the car and ruin the car and hit it. So yes, the car, it belongs to the son. Yes, but at the same time, the father is watching. Like, you got the meaning? So you have to shukr means you have to work with this car. You have to take care of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He give you money. You have to make shukr about the money. You have to shukr about the ni'mah. So you have to take some portion of the money وأما السائل فلا تنهر. Anybody who asks you, don't deny him. Like, everyone who asks you for some money and you have a little bit, you have to give him, because this is his right to take some money from you. So, like, so this is the money. You have eyes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you eyes. So what do you do with the shukr, with eyes? Oh, this is very important. You have, for example, you have nudity beaches, for example, and you have mosque here. You have women naked in the streets. You can close your eyes. You can turn off your head. Go to the next one. And this is a shukr by ni'mah. Yeah, you have your car outside. Put it in the garage. You know that the rocks is coming and they're gonna damage the car. Put it inside. You have your eyes. Take care of them. Shukr Allah. You have your mouth. Don't insult anybody. This is shukr. Like, by shukr. You have your ears. You know what I mean? If you somebody, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told you in the Surah Al-An'am, when you hear some people are talking, يَخُوضُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا, they are talking about our verses. فَلَا تَقْعُدْ مَعَهُمْ, don't stay with them. You can't close your eyes, yes, but you can be away from them. I used to do the same. I used to work before. I used to work sometimes part-time, like, in a pizza store. And the managers, he has a friend, and his friend is an Englishman, and they hate Islam very much. And they used to, the man, he was from Iran, and he's like just only a Muslim with his name. But the Englishman, he always look at me like I'm like a devil. And I used to pray inside the store. And I used to work only 2 days in weekend with this man, pizza delivery, and helping him in the kitchen. This happens like 10 years ago. And because I was nice with them every time, and many times I hear him talking badly about the Quran and how it is lies and how those people, Muslim, are very shit people. So what I used to do is I just go outside the store. So the owner, he came and asked me, why you go outside? I told him that I don't want to listen to him. But at the same time, I keep smiling to the man. I keep saying, hello, how are you doing? Then the man, after 6 months from meeting me, and he talked to me and he asked me, Muhammad, I'm sure that you listen to what I always say about Islam and Muslims. Does this hurt you? I told him, no, it just go away. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will know what's going on. Allah asked me to just leave you, and when you are done with your talk, I can come and share with you another talk. And the guy gets surprised, and he asked me, show me this verse. And I show it to him. And this man actually, he changed it totally. And he asked for a Quran in English. And that's why your behavior as a Muslim sometimes can change people around you. So what I mean is, I don't know, we went through something else, like from Sura Al Zumar. But I mean is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He asks us to make shukr by doing something, by taking care of our mouth, taking care of our eyes, taking care of our ears, taking care of our actions, and don't make shirk. So this is the shukr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He give you ni'mah, He give you money. You have to make shukr by giving some portion to the poor people. And you have to keep big portion, not only a small. Like, you have to find any way to help other people. So this is shukr. Anyway, I hope you got the meaning between the alhamd and shukr. وَإِن تَشْكُرُوا يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. And if you make shukr, يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ, Allah will be pleased from you. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرُ أُخْرَى. No soul will have another burdens. Okay? ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّكُمْ مَرْجِعَكُمْ. And then you're going to go back to your God. فَيُنَبِّئُكُمْ. And He will inform you بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, what you were doing. إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. Like he knows what exactly inside our chests, our souls. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he goes to the verse number 8, وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ ضُرٌّ دَعَى رَبِّهِ مُنِيبًا إِلَيْهِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said here, he didn't mention the Muslim or the Christian, or he mentioned an insan, because this is typically what's going on with everybody else. Like everybody who says, I don't believe, like if he believed that Jesus is a son of God, when he has a problem, or his wife in the having a medical operation and she might die after half an hour, he will go and pray, and he will only remember the Lord, the God. And if you are always reading the like books about Bukhari, I just taking as an example of shirk, and or reading other stuff away from the Quran, or keep distracting you. When you have some problems, like you lost your money, or you are waiting a court day, and this court day you might be in jail and you might be innocent. So you'll see this man is always remember Allah. I just something came to my mind right now. I have a friend of mine. He had a court case, and he was waiting for this court. And this man does not pray, but he learned how to pray before this court day comes. And he was praying in a loud voice. I told him, you don't have to make a loud voice when you're praying. Just whisper between you and your soul. Allah is very close to you. But he never mentioned. He never listened to me. Anyway, he was reciting the Quran and he's praying very loudly. In Fajr time, he used to wake up people around him. When we used to go to the mosque, all the people left the mosque except him. He kept praying. And after the court day, he was innocent. He was a good man. But this happens to everyone. Like when you have your wife in having operation, you will remember Allah very sincerely. You have a court day, you're going to be in prison, you're going to lose your money, you're going to be very sincerely to Allah. So, and after that, we know from the verse right now. And this is what happened to my friends and everybody. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? ثُمَّ إِذَا خَوَّلَهُ نِعْمَةٌ مِّنْهُ نَسَى مَا كَانَ يَدْعُو إِلَيْهِ. And then, then, إِذَا خَوَّلَهُ نِعْمَةٌ مِّنْهُ. Allah, then, if Allah give him a blessing, okay, نَسِيَ مَا كَانَ يَدْعُو إِلَيْهِ. He will forget what he was praying for Allah. وَجَعَلَ لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا لَيَضُلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ. قُلْ تَمَتَّعْ بِكُفْرِكَ قَلِيلًا إِنَّكَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ النَّارِ. Yeah, this is truly happens to my friend. After he's finished, he's praying, he stopped praying, and right now he only watch the programs about Sahaba and Bukhari. He watch everything in religious except the Quran. Like same story happened these days. When you go to Gom'a prayer, you listen to Gom'a, the Khatib, the Imam mention all the hadiths except the Quran. And he only mentioned the Quran at the time of the prayer. And you pray and then go. And the people goes outside. Everyone goes whatever he used to do. Nothing. You learn nothing. Anyway. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, وَقَالَ لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا لَيُضُلُّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ. Andadan means partners. So after he has this hardship, and he has he has adversity, he has like these problems happens in his life, he was praying to Allah very sincerely, and he was asking Allah for a relief very sincerely. And then when Allah gave him this relief and he gave him a blessing, he forgot what he was asking Allah for. And then what? And then he made andadan li Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He made layadullu an sabili. He gave Allah a partners, like money, like kids, whatever, because you forgot to be sincerely to Allah. قل تمتع بكفرك قليلا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, say, enjoy your kufr a little, not too much, because life is short. You are one of those people who are going to be in hellfire. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made a questions here. He said, أمن هو قانت أناء الليل ساجدا وقائما يحذر الآخرة ويرجو رحمة ربه قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب. أمن هو قانت. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He just make a questions, and He's asking about the one who is devoutly obedient to Allah during the night, and he's making sujood or standing, praying or reciting Quran, and he's fearing the hereafter, and he's hoping the mercy from Allah. And then Allah, قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's asking you, not the Prophet. Because the Prophet himself, he knows. That's why the revelation from Allah, he came to the Prophet. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent this down to the Prophet for all of us. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's talking to the Prophet, He talks to you too. Okay? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, Qul, say, it means it's not the Prophet. No, it's for you. You say that. So what you say is, قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. Say, is it equal people who knows and people who doesn't know? Of course they're not equal. إنما يتذكر أولي الألباب. Only people with understanding who remember that. Okay, or as we say in Canada, peace of mind for those people who always remember. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said for the next we're gonna go for the number 10. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, He said, قل يا عباد الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة وأرض الله واسعة إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. قل يا عباد الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم. Oh, it's something new here, by the way. So it means يا عباد الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم. So it means not all the mu'min peoples اتقوا ربكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He asks us to fear Allah. اتقوا ربكم. التقوى, to make taqwa. So it means some of those believers, some of those mu'minins, they don't make اتقوا ربهم. اتقوا ربهم. So right now, let me tell you something. So right now we have 3 ranks, 3 levels. Muslim, and we have mu'min, and we have muttaqin. So Allah, in different verses, we can talk about it. He talks about the Muslim and the mu'min. Muslim just like, he started to like the idea about surrender to Allah and make only one God. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. He started to pray the 5 times, sometimes not equally. And that's it. This is Muslim, like majority of us. And then we go for the mu'min. Means mu'min, it's higher rank a little bit. Mu'min means you have belief in your heart, and you feel like your heart is feeling something for the Quran, and you want to read the Quran, but you don't do it. Your eyes, you watch women in the streets and you regret because you are mu'min, but you can't stop it. Like you, sometimes you make gossip and you regret, and you make willing between you and yourself to stop it, but you can't do it. So you are okay. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's talking to you right now. For those people who are mu'mineen, اتقوا ربكم means taqwa. Taqwa means fear Allah. Taqwa. Yattaqi means in Arabic language, taqwa means avoid. So when you make taqwa, it means avoid. It means avoid Allah? No. It means avoid the punishment of Allah. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talks about the taqwa here, means He doesn't mean that you love Allah because you fear all the punishment of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about the taqwa, he talks like this is the lowest level for you to taqwa, to fear Allah. But when you go to taqillah, it means you have to make taqwa for everything. We will go for this details, but right now you know that there's 3 ranks. قل يا عباد الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم. So right now we know right now what when Allah said قل يا عباد, say you servant, you الذين آمنوا, who are have iman, اتقوا ربكم, fear Allah, للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا, those people who did good in life, they have a reward. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he goes for the next one, something different, but it's related. He said what? وَأَرْضُ اللَّهُ وَاسِعَةٌ. Allah has a spacious land. Why Allah mentioned that? I will tell you right now. إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Those people who are patient, they're gonna get their rewards without accounting. Like this is very important, okay? And I want you to write it down, because we're gonna go to it after sometimes. Allah will mention it again in this and after some verses, maybe next video, about what does it mean the patient people will get their rewards without accountant, without hisab. So how it comes without day of judgment. So I will tell you exactly in this Sura Al Zumar also. That's why I selected this chapter, Sura Al Zumar. So we'll go back again and say why Allah, as I told you, Sura Al Zumar, it, as in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it's not only for Zumar, for group. So Zumar means Zumrun, group of people who goes to paradise, and group of people, Zumur, goes to the hellfire. I also see that this is one of the only chapters in Quran which Allah mentioned more than one meanings in one verse, in one ayah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said here, قُلْ يَا عِبَادَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. What does it mean, أَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ? It means, so you people, if you can't make taqwa rabbakum, immigrate to a different land. Like, you know what I mean? أرض الله واسعة. Immigrate for different lands, so then you can make taqwa. You people like I remember that days when I was in Egypt, and the Muslim Brotherhood, they was forcing people to be member with them. And they were thinking that they are the superior people, they are the right people, and everybody should follow them. So I was thinking, why they don't immigrate to the desert and they start their own group over there? Like, you know what, this is what immigration starts. Like, you know, if you can't live between people, go for somewhere else. That's Ardullah wasi'a. And then, but if you can't immigrate, like these days you can't, and coronavirus right now, you can't go anywhere, right? And you wanna get a visa to come to Canada here from Egypt, or you are from Sri Lanka, you want to come to Canada, you can't. What can you do? Then Allah give you the solution for the next portion, and He said what? إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. But who are the patient people? Those people who are the قُلْ يَا عِبَادَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ. After you make taqwa to Allah and be a patient. So not anybody patient will take a reward without accounting. No. Okay? So like we are sometimes in the mosques, we just say something, but we don't focus too much. The people who are patient and they have iman in their hearts and they are making taqwa to Allah, they make shukr and they are patient, they're gonna get their rewards without accounting. Okay? Okay. قل إني أمرت أن أعبد الله مخلصا له الدين. Say, I was commanded to worship Allah sincerely, to Him the religion. Who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is talking to the Prophet. Not only the Prophet, as we said. Like, you know, like teacher come in the school. and he went to his class, and he asked one of the students to stand up, and he told him, say this one, don't say this one, right or wrong, right or wrong, right or wrong. And he gave him a small lesson. What about the other students who are listening? Should they go outside the classroom? No. They should follow the instruction exactly, like the teacher was talking to each one of them. And maybe the teacher will bring a test for what he told this student, and everybody else has to write what he's understanding from what he was saying. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ إِنِّي أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ مُخْلِصًا لَهُ الدِّينَ, it means you have to say that. I was commanded to worship Allah sincerely. I say it to myself, and I really say it to myself, and you also have to say it to yourself. وَأُمِرْتُ لَأَنْ أَكُونَ أَوَّلَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. This is a very confusing, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَأُمِرْتُ, and I was commanded to be the first in Muslimin, the first one in Muslimin, the first one to submit. What does it mean? It doesn't mean also the Prophet by himself, because the Prophet, he was not the first one in Muslims. Okay? Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was the first Muslim, and he is the one who named us the Muslimin. So what does it mean, the first to submit? It means like you're gonna be like an example. You're gonna be for the first Muslim to show submission to Allah. Yeah, like for me, I came here to Canada and I was the first one in my building. I have to behave like a good Muslims. Everybody else, when they like I was in the pizza store, as I told you. So the owner and the other and his friends, like, to show me the first Muslims in his store, the first Muslim in his area. So you have to always remember Allah, that you are, even if there is a lot of Muslims, you're not following, you don't worship Allah sincerely, you have to be like you are the only and the first Muslim who makes submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, قُلْ إِنِّي أَخَافَ إِنْ عَصَيْتَ رَبِّي عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ. Say, I'm afraid if I disobey Allah, a punishment of a tremendous day will come to me. This is what. قُلْ اللَّهُ أَعْبُدُ مُخْلُصًا لَهُ دِينِي. And then Allah say, it's Allah I do worship sincerely to Him in my religious. You see, Allah keep repeating this. Like, we say these 3 verses and we came in the first 2. Why? Just to make the worship sincerely to Allah and be away from shirk. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned after that the Zumar, the groups people goes to the paradise and groups people goes to the hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's warming up you to understand what He wants to tell you. Let's go continue with the Quran. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that we're going to go for the verse number 15. And Allah, فَأَعْبُدُوا مَا شِئْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. And we talked in the previous video about خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُم, who lost their souls. Anyway, فَأَعْبُدُوا مَا شِئْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ. Whatever you pleased you beside Allah, you worship Him. قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ. Say, the losers who lose their souls and their families in the day of judgment. And this is truly the most obvious loss, and this is truly the big loss. خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا. So the big loss is when you lose your souls, and we talked about losing your souls, and you lose the control of your souls in the previous video about that. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're gonna go for number 16. And number 16 is very important because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gonna talk about taqwa again. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He always remind us in the Quran by repeating the things, by repeating the advices over and over again, and by saying the same thing in different scenarios, and by bringing examples just to make them stick in your mind. And like recently, recently the the last only few years, researchers found that the human brain can memorize the stories 22 times more memorizing the indexing. What does it mean? So when you go for example, مرويات الأحاديث البخاري, and you say الشرك number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, like every imam's doing, and he's like that. And he think like this way, it makes it easy to people. Yes, people get it easy when they listen to number 1, don't do that, number 2, don't do that, number 3, don't do that. Why Allah didn't make the Quran like this way? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he knows that this way, when he make the Quran like reminding again and again and bringing examples and stories, it's gonna stick to your minds 22 times. And Google what I'm telling you right now. Just Google indexing versus stories in human beings' brain, and it will tell you it's 22 times, really. So that's why this is the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his book. And this is what I was asking everybody to read the Quran. لهم من فوقكم ظلل من النار ومن تحتهم ظلل ذلك يخوف الله به عباده يا عباد فاتقون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I was just gonna remind you again, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was talking about the people who lost their souls, and they're gonna lose also their families in the day of judgment. And he said this is the obvious loss, the greatest loss. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said what about those people? They have something waiting for them. What? That's what this verse said. لهم من فوقهم ظلل من النار. They have shadows from up, shadows from fire. And I meant to say those videos because when I went to the English translation for those verse, I found like 5 or 6 scholars. Everyone has made his translation is totally different meaning about this one. Like, Allah was subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he talk about these shadows of fire, it means heat. It means you feel like you have heat from up, like 50, 60 degrees. It's not fire. Okay? There's no heat. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لهم من فوقهم ظلل من النار. You have from up shadows from fire. Shadows, a little bit from heat, more heat from up. So when you have heat from up, what you do? You go down, right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, وَمَنْ تَحْتَهُمْ ظُلَلٍ, and from underneath, there is heat. So you spend the whole time, heat from up and heat from down, heat from up